just in terms of detail, in terms of how much we would review the material that we were producing. It meant that we had to be hypercritical.
It was a little less of an issue for us at Weta because we didn't have as many shots that were actually IMAX. I think we probably only had about 15 shots all up across our sequences. So most of it was restricted to those very small sequences, limited number of shots. So we didn't have to worry about it as much in terms of its effect on our processes. My name is Keith Miller, Visual Effects Supervisor at Weta Digital. Most recently finished Batman v Superman and Disney's Jungle Book.
My name's Dan Zelcs. I'm from NPC London. I'm a character rigger, I'm a lead rigger, and I've worked on the last few Harry Potters, Godzilla, most recently Batman vs Superman, and I'm currently working on Fantastic Beasts.
I started undergraduate actually studying architecture initially, architecture and then industrial design, and then kind of found my way into visual arts. But I always kept one foot in the door on the technical side too, because I was always interested in that kind of fusion of art and technology, even from a young age. So I studied a lot of math and computer science and kind of worked that into my artistic education as well. And then eventually in graduate school, I actually studied virtual reality, and I worked in virtual reality and holography for a number of years before I worked my way into visual effects. So for me in particular, it's really exciting to kind of see things kind of looping back around and see virtual realities kind of reemergence and how that's kind of dovetailing and fitting in with some of the creative and filmmaking processes too. So it's exciting.
As a teenager, I was always quite passionate about art and mathematics, and I managed to find a course at the University of Teesside called BSc Visualization, which was a 4-year course in computer graphics, and it allowed me to continue this love of combining art and maths. And it was a 4-year course, which meant that the third year was working. So I worked at a computer games company in Oxford, and my career started in computer games, and that meant that I could use Photoshop, I could model, texture, animate, and it was another 5 years until I joined the visual effects industry. But I'm finding that all of those skills that I learned in computer games are really helpful because there's lots of overlaps in different departments in this industry.
I would definitely say a lot of the fluid work that we had done was something new. We use our own proprietary kind of simulation framework for all of our fluid simulations, but we did have to break some new ground in terms of the kind of coupled fluids and multiple fluids of different types of kind of viscosities and densities all kind of working together and playing more nicely. So that was certainly a challenge. It was kind of fun, and ultimately resulted in some really nice looking goo and slime on our Doomsday.
For us, the challenge was the 4K IMAX high resolution. We'd worked on Man of Steel, so we had our digi-double version of Superman, but we wanted to take it further, and we did a lot more captures of facial blend shapes, scans, and more detailed textures to help push the detail that we needed for 4K, and also for the call of the shots as well, because there was a lot more detail on screen, held for longer and fuller. So yeah, the detail really. Some were 35mm format, some were IMAX. But every asset that we built, we made sure that it was going to hold up at that sort of resolution.